which contest was that?
Portland's funniest.
Okay, I guess that's the only contest that's at Helium, isn't it?
Yeah, there was a Harvey's contest for a little while to get a hosting spot at Harvey's, and I won that. That's how I got in at Harvey's.
Yeah, and you get a hosting gig, which is a paid hosting gig, right?
Yeah, it was like $220. It was nice for six shows.
Yeah, that's great. That's what I want to. I don't know. There's the whole hello everybody and welcome to. Thanks for watching this here. Must be nice with Kyle Adams and Chad Johnson. Kyle Adams, Chad Johnson. Actually, it's a left and right. Kyle Adams. There it is. But yeah, that's one of the. Oh, I can hide this Instagram thing. Whoops, there it is. Okay, just put. Okay, cool. Yeah, I want to. Like finding different ways to put a little bit of money in your pockets with comedy stuff is really fun. That's the game of it. It's like, okay, what can I, because it's like going back and grinding, is your open mics, and even when you're not grinding, you're sorting your inventory, which is going through your notebooks. And then there's just the whole, I don't know, I grew up on Diablo 2, so I just I can put everything that I have ever done into that game and just be like, okay, cool. This is just like Act 3 when you fight Mephisto, and it's like, I'm getting the loot drop from this one. Oh yeah, I get
it. Yeah, I put a lot of time into this.
Yeah. So yeah, there's so many fun little ways there's a lot of opportunities to just like put a little bit of money in your pockets. There's been a couple times where I had an opportunity to put a decent amount of money in my pockets, and that was just like a one-off kind of thing. And it was like, right there, that one, please, thanks. It was like you could call it a corporate show. It was for a manager's meeting for my job. They hired me to go do that because they're like, oh, you do comedy? Cool. This will work out. And they're like, how much do you want? And I was like, okay, I have heard corporate gigs pay really well. So I was like, $300. And they were like, oh yeah, of course. What? I was like, oh shit. Like,
you're like, fuck, I should ask for more.
Oh yeah, immediately. Cause they were like, oh, $300, that's it? Like, holy shit, we're saving so much money on this. That was like the behavior. And I was like, oh, cool. So the next time
I would be like, what's your budget?
Yeah, I should have gone that way.
I kind of undersold myself on my show. I probably could have gotten 150 when I was running my show because I was like, hey, I need at least 100 to pay everybody.
Where was that?
That was the one I was running at Culture, and I it was a monthly, so it was easy to convince them. Just that $100 a month isn't that much for And no. I was able to pay my headliner 25, and then everyone else got like 10 or 15 bucks, depending on what the situation was, how many comics, which was nice. And then I would only take like 15 or 20, and that was it. That worked out really well. I undersold myself one time when I edited a wedding video because I was like, 50 bucks, because I didn't know what to charge for that and how much time I was gonna. And it ended up being like a 20-hour endeavor, and I only got 50 bucks from it. I was like, dude, I should have asked for like 250 bucks. Like, so anytime I edit a video again like that, I'm like, dude, I'm gonna ask for more. But I haven't done any like freelance editing work in a while.
Yeah, professional video editors, they immediately ask for a lot of money and then negotiate down from there. And I can't do that. I'm doing this.
Like an asshole. I hate it. It's like, I want $500 for my time. They're like, what the fuck? They're like, okay, I'll do 100.
I'm doing a show with a guy who writes from the Hard Times. It's called Oof. It's a comedy show where they have comedians write jokes, and then they have non-comedians read the jokes, and then there's like voting and a whole game show based off of that. So he's like, so how much do you want? How much? He asked me what my rate was, and like I've done jobs for people here and there and stuff, and I was like, I like 50 bucks. And he's like, yeah, that's easy. And I was like, all right, sweet. But I mean, that one's cool because like he's such a cool dude, and I like believe in the art of the show, and like he's like almost an activist in a lot of ways. And I was like, you know what, I just like working with this dude, so it really isn't that hard for me. And so like I think it really is actually worth about $50 in work of my time, which is cool because it's like we both are getting a good deal out of it because it's something that I nerd out about is just like, editing video and producing little online shows like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be fun.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and I can say that I'm a paid producer of a show based out of Brooklyn, New York, which is pretty
Ooh,
fucking. That's a
I
fun
mean
little thing.
that's pretty fucking rad, dude.
Yeah, yeah, he's a really cool guy. Um, so how's the mic scene going? Tell me all about the mic scene.
Oh man, it was fucking rad tonight. So tonight is the it's a Mandolin Deal is hosting Pizza Schmitza, which is she did it pre-COVID as well.
Okay.
And it was fucking popping tonight. I mean, there was as many people as we were allowed to have in there. And we do it with masks on since it's all indoors and it's all social distancing.
Yeah.
It was fucking cool, man. I had a great time. I had a really good set, and then I just kind of fucked off because we were supposed to start at 7:30, but there was like the NBA All Stars game on, so we got pushed back
Okay.
like almost an hour. Fucking sports, dude.
Did they show the Space Jam trailer during the NBA All Stars game?
No, I've heard were they supposed to?
I don't know.
I
That just
heard
seems like the perfect time.
I've been hearing little flutters here and there. I keep hearing everyone's pissed off because they de-titted Lola the bunny or whatever.
I mean, that was one of the things when I was a kid that I was like, okay, I guess cartoons are hot. I
Yeah,
mean,
dude.
I hadn't thought that much, but
There's
all right.
about there's about 7 years between 7 or 8 years in between Roger Rabbit and Lola Bunny. And I feel like those kids that are 8 years apart, their sexual awakenings were like those two, like Jessica
Yeah.
Rabbit and Lola Bunny. Like it's the same concept though. It's like
Well,
holy
and
shit.
I think that's about the right progression, or yeah, progression, which would be Jessica Rabbit, which is like an extremely sexualized cartoon character. Maybe even right before that, you're talking Heavy Metal 2000 and shit like that. And then
Yeah.
you got, yeah, like Betty Boop she's just like, actually, I saw a thing on Reddit that was about who Betty Boop is based off of. It was pretty
Yeah,
interesting.
it was a black performer,
Yeah.
and she didn't get any fucking. I don't think she got any royalties for it. I think they like completely ripped off her likeness.
Yeah. I don't even know if they talked about Betty Boop being black.
She was black in the original cartoons.
Oh,
They
okay.
if you can find it on YouTube, there's really early Betty Boop stuff, and yeah, she's just shaded a little bit darker, but they like
Oh, interesting.
completely ripped off this poor lady's fucking like
Yeah.
her performance and everything, dude. And she didn't. I don't think she got anything for it until like much later.
Oh,
Or maybe her estate got it much
if,
later. But
yeah, I was gonna
she's
say if
she's,
ever.
she's beautiful. She's
Yeah.
absolutely beautiful, and she's almost like I mean, it's a cartoon, obviously, but a lot of like her dimensions and stuff are similar. Like she was just really sexy.
So from there, there's Jessica Rabbit and then Lola Bunny, she's a pretty hot athlete, and it's like, okay, that's nice. But then now the progression, if you just keep going with where we're at now, just take away her tits, and then I don't know, maybe everybody's happy. Maybe China's like, hey, take away the bunny's tits. We can't have you guys sexualizing rabbits
How
anymore.
do you guys like this one?
Hmm. I wonder if the first Sonic drawing was done in China, and then they're just like, yeah, just put that out, and then it'll be fine. And then we were all like, wait, what? No.
I like what you said. I like what you said last week. How it's like, man, they should have just kept Sonic the way he looked because it was a shitty movie regardless. Like,
Yeah, it would have
that's
been
so
more
funny.
interesting. That is true.
Yeah, it's so funny. I loved Jim Carrey in it though.
Yeah.
It was nice to see Jim Carrey doing an impression of himself 10 years ago
Hmm.
or 15 years ago. Fuck.
Yeah. I just watched Happy Gilmore. Have you
Oh
watched
yeah,
Happy Gilmore lately?
dude. I watched it like 4 months ago, and it doesn't hold up for me. He's an asshole, and I hate him. He's a dick in that movie.
Yeah, he's a total dick, but like the comedy in that movie is it's still that held up for me really well. But yeah, he's not a nice guy, and there's parts where it's like, why is this lady falling for this
Yeah.
kind of crap? But I mean, it's 1996, and everybody was like, okay, the bar was so the bar for us right now is pretty damn low, where like every action movie is just 100% exposition, even during the bullet scenes. It's like, okay, now what's going on now is he's got a bunch of bullets and I've got a bunch of bullets, and I think we're gonna bullet fight. And
We're gonna exchange bullets.
yeah, but back, which movie was I talking about?
Happy
Oh, Happy
Gilmore.
Gilmore.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's
I like the Ben Stiller scene. Don't get me wrong. Like a lot of the humor, like really lines up. And I'm like, I remember as a kid thinking like, oh, he's endearing, but I'm like, this motherfucker gets in a fight with 80-year-old Bob Barker. Like he's a fucking dick. Like I don't care if
yeah,
he's trying to help his sick grandma. He's an asshole, and he's like hitting on this lady, and it just feels so creepy and weird. Like she's not receptive to it at all at first, and then she just kind of goes, oh, okay. Like
yeah,
it's weird. I mean, I really like and it's so funny because I didn't realize he was the dad from Freaks and Geeks, the jackass, the
yeah,
guy who just, you
yeah,
jackass, you're gonna lose because you're fucking dumb, you jackass. Like he's the fucking dad from Freaks and Geeks. He was also if I'm doing all fucking IMDb autistic brain of mine,
yeah.
he
Get
was
it?
the bad guy in a Sesame Street movie called it was a Big Bird movie called Follow That Bird from the
Oh
80s.
yeah, Follow That
It was
Bird. I
a
remember that one.
VHS movie I
I
watched
don't think I
all the
ever
time.
saw that.
Him and this famous Canadian actor, he was the other half of Rick Moranis' Strange Brew. They were the bad guys in that Big Bird movie.
Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis.
No, I forget his fucking name. He worked with Rick Moranis. They were in a movie called Strange Brew. It's really great. I have a computer in front of me. I can look it up. Yeah, dude. That was a good ass movie. Follow That Bird, because it was Sesame Street, but it was like dark, and it was like adult themed stuff going on. Like they go to a restaurant that's all Grouches, like all Oscar the Grouches. Which is pretty funny.
It's just all trash can.
It's all the like trash can people, and they're all assholes, and they're just like throwing food back and forth, and they're like everyone orders a tossed salad, and the waiter just or the cook just shoots a fucking salad out slingshot at everybody. Let me look up the guy. He was also dude, you'd recognize him if you saw his face. Here, I'll pull it up.
Oh, I know who we're talking about, but I don't know the movie. I haven't seen the Big Bird movie, but I've been
Oh,
watching Freaks and
yeah,
Geeks.
yeah. He's really funny too. He's in a lot of stuff.
Dude, that Christopher McDonald, Shooter McGavin, he looks like
Oh,
my
that
dad,
guy's a great actor too.
and he kind of acts like my dad in that movie. So I'm just like, ugh.
Oh, his name's
But
Dave Thomas. I don't know why I couldn't remember that. He's got the same name as the fucking Wendy's guy.
Wendy's guy, yeah,
Yeah.
Dave Thomas.
Yeah.
And
What were we talking? Oh, I had my first day of work today, back at work, after the last lockdown. So
how's that?
it was interesting. It was I was worried that I was gonna be rusty, and everything just kind of snapped to in my brain, and I just kind of muscle memoried everything. The
Yeah,
only thing
that's
that
nice.
sucked is they changed the computer system around on us, and they were playing like a fucking shuffle, like a shuffle game with shit. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Why would you mess with the POS like when we come back? It's kind of annoying.
Keep it fresh. Keep you on your toes.
Yeah, I guess so, man. It's like, what have you guys been up to while the pandemic's been going on?
Nice.
Yeah.
Dude, today, so I happened to be in McMinnville. We went to the that museum with the airplanes,
Oh
the
yeah,
air and space museum.
I've been there. That place is cool.
It's really cool. So you pull in. First of all, one of the buildings, it's got an airplane on top of it, and coming out of the side of this airplane are water slides because there's a water park there. Did you know that?
I didn't know there's a water park there.
So there's this building and there's an airplane on top of it. It's a real airplane. And then on the sides of it, there's just these two tubes going woo, and then these like swirlies. And I was like, what the fuck? And then I was talking to Steve, and he was just like, yeah, there's a water park, and there's a water park there in the summer. It's called Wings and Waves, and fucking you can go up the whole stairs or elevator, however up. It's probably stairs because you're wet.
A wet elevator. A wet
Yeah,
elevator sounds
a
great.
wet escalator. That'd be the best one.
Oh fuck. That's dangerous.
So yeah, and then you just go into this airplane, and then there's a water slide out of it. Seems crazy. Yeah, no escalators though. That's I'm so anti-escalator. I don't know if I've talked about this to you, but I've talked about it to a lot of different people. I've seen one too many internet videos of people just going like, "Uh-oh, I'm in a just human wood chipper now."
When I
And they
was
just
I know that they freaked me out as a kid. I used to have so I had a phobia of them as a kid, and when I would go to the mall, I'd have my mom stand in front of me and my dad stand behind me, just in case, like because I was fucking, it would make me more comfortable that way. I would
yeah.
freak out, and I'd always
Yeah.
double check, make sure my laces were tied and everything.
Yeah,
I'd get
they're
kind
fucking they're not they're I don't understand. They're crazy machines
of,
that
mhm.
can go wrong, and the thing about it going when they do go wrong, it's like the worst possible spectacle. By the way, because
Yeah.
everybody's going, "Oh my god, there's a person in there." That's not just. It's like a cartoon thing. Uh, yeah, I don't like humans around machinery, that kind of stuff, because machinery it doesn't forgive, and
Mhm.
it bugs me. I've seen I think at least 3 internet videos of people falling into escalators. And also every time there's an escalator, right next to it, fucking right next to it, right there's some stairs.
Oh,
Right
yeah,
there.
or an elevator.
Yeah, or an elevator. But I mean, hey, have you seen Mission Impossible 1? Elevators can be they can be fucked with, and then you can get a spike through your eye like Emilio Estevez.
Oh,
No
fuck.
thing.
And then he was never in a movie again.
Yeah. No, this
Oh,
is
dude, no, escalators are like some kind of World's Fair shit that should have never caught on. I don't understand. Like, you know what I mean? It seems like something from like the early 1900s where like moving stairs. It's just
yeah.
like, and they're like just not well thought. Like you said, they're not well thought out. I mean, I think they're fucking. I think they're stupid. I like the flat people movers like in the airport. Those are cool.
Those are
With the like,
sweet. Those are totally sweet.
you feel like you're a grocery item on a conveyor belt. It's fantastic.
Yeah. I like those a lot.
Yeah, I like
Um,
walking backwards or like walking around in a circle in those like a
yeah.
like
Have you seen the Mr. Bean movie?
yeah, I love
Where
Mr. Bean.
he's in the me too. He's in the airport and he's just
Mhm.
like trying to fuck around, and he just puts his hands in his shirt, and then he like all the cops start chasing him. He walks backwards on the treadmill thing. He's
Oh
just
yeah.
right there. Oh man, dude, I just show that to my daughter. It's like I forget all these things that like made me so crazy happy when I was a kid, and then I go, oh yeah, dude, you don't even know what Mr. Bean is. This is so
Yeah.
exciting. It's great. And then she goes, oh, that's the guy from Rat Race. And I'm like, god damn it.
Oh, yeah, he had
That's
narcolepsy in that one.
yeah.
That was funny. No, I like Mr. Bean a lot. I've just always loved that type of humor in general. Just like it slapstick when it's done well. That's like fucking chef's kiss slapstick. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like there's like levels of it, you know. That's like pure dedication slapstick. I love it.
Mhm. Yeah, he's 100% his art. It's
Hmm.
like in the movie The Prestige. There's that line that says they're talking about that guy who gave up his life for his art. The
Hmm.
magician guy, the old guy who he walks all crooked like this, but it's because he has to walk like that so on stage he can carry a fishbowl in between his legs because that's
Oh
the part of
yeah.
his magic trick.
Hmm.
Spoilers, but there's what were we just talking about before that? Back 10
Oh,
seconds.
Mr. Bean.
Mr. Bean, yeah, he's the same thing. But actually that's not even true because he's fully committed to that whole comedic art thing. But in his
Mhm.
off time, I was just playing a comedy trivia game on a different show where I found out that Mr. Bean in his off time travels all around the world racing new cars on racetracks and like reviewing them. That's just part of his like one of his other jobs and hobbies is race cars, which is fucking awesome.
He
Rowan
looks like he'd be
Atkinson,
into Formula One or something.
yeah,
He kind of looks like. Wouldn't he look good in like a? I feel like it would be a funny sketch to see him like in a race car outfit,
Yeah, like Le
like just
Mans
like
racing. Yeah. Oh yeah.
stumbling around or something, making like people freaked out, thinking that he's gonna actually get into a race car. Like,
I bet. I bet you there's a Rowan Atkinson race outfit. Boom. And how long does it take to find it? It's right there. Boom. It's the yeah. If you type in Rowan Atkinson race outfit, it's the first thing. It's Rowan Atkinson in a racing suit. It's fucking great, and it's what you think it is. But also, he's also one of the most suave dudes. He can be Mr. Bean, or he can be this other guy that like he looks so cool, and he's not dorky at all.
are you talking about Johnny English?
I mean, I still haven't even seen Johnny English. Is it good?
Dude. Okay, so this is crazy. I got Mandela affected with Rowan Atkinson. I thought he died. I could have sworn he died. And then
Do you know who you mistook that for?
no, I literally thought it was. I thought I read somewhere that Rowan Atkinson died, and it could have just been. I think what it was it was a clickbait article that's like, I guess which celebrities died you didn't know about this year, and I think they just had his face in there, and it was just something no one ever corrected. And I didn't hear it from I didn't read it from anything else. I think I just saw it in passing like that. But it was I didn't know he was alive until I saw a trailer for Johnny English 2, and I was like, what? I was like, how did they resurrected him for a sequel to this? Like
A post-mortem sequel. Come
yeah,
on.
I was
Yeah.
like, why? I was like, I remember that movie doing terrible in the box office. Like it looked fun
Funny.
though. I mean, I thought it got like destroyed in the box office. So I was like, they resurrected this series like 10 years later, and they resurrected him.
Yeah. Hologram technology came along real quick right then.
You gotta. Can we get a Coachella Mr. Bean here? Stat.
Yeah. Yeah. So we go to this Air and Space Museum. The first building is a water park. The second building's it's got the spruce goose in it. That's pretty sweet. It's huge. There's all sorts of airplane stuff there. It's neat. The third building is space. It's the space building. So we go in there. We're looking around. It's cool. And then Steve and Jaron go, "Oh, have you seen the Blackbird?" And I was like, "Oh, I didn't know they had one of those here. I didn't see it. I figured I would. It's giant." So on our way walking toward the Blackbird, I'm telling them how I grew up in California on Edwards Air Force Base, like a half mile away from that, and the Blackbird would fly over our house and break the sound barrier. We'd have sonic booms over our house all the time, and it was crazy because the people in California City would come outside at certain times and be like, "Oh, let's go watch there's like shuttle launches and all sorts of crazy stuff in that town." So I was like talking about that, and then we get there, and I was like, "Oh, cool! This is like, this is like the one that he showed me on the Air Force Base. Sweet." And then Steve's reading the little plaque thing, and it's like, "Oh, this one's decommissioned. It was in between the 70s and 1994 in California City at Edwards Air Force Base. They were doing test runs and I was like, "Oh my god, this is the airplane." Yeah, and it was the only one that was doing that, and so it was like, this is the airplane that was flying over my head as a kid, and it's this one. That's fucking crazy.
That's so fucking weird.
Yeah,
that's so
it's
cool,
nuts.
dude.
Yeah,
yeah.
That was a cool thing.
We used to hear those in Florida where we were at every once in a while because we were by an airport. So the town I grew up in was called Zephyr Hills, and it was famous for skydiving. But they would also
cool
have fucking military shit take off there, and we would hear it all the fucking time. I don't know if you remember ever hearing it, but I remember sometimes. I don't know if I'm just imagining this, but I feel like I remember when the space shuttle would take off. Sometimes, if we were close enough to it, we could hear it.
I wasn't. I was way off, but I think that was a thing for people.
Yeah,
where did it take off?
Well, it took off from Cape Canaveral, and I can't remember how far off, because I mean we weren't super close to it, but I remember being there, and I remember hearing like, I don't know, I remember hearing them talk about that, how the sound traveled from it pretty far.
Yeah, I mean sound travels over water like crazy.
I can't remember geographically like how close we were from Tampa to Cape Canaveral, but we went there on a field trip, so I mean it could have been like maybe 3 hours or something.
Okay.
We'll see.
I don't see Canaveral on the map. I don't even know which side it's on.
It's also Kennedy Space Center is the actual Cape Canaveral is the geographical location, and Kennedy Space Center is the name of the actual place.
Okay, yeah, I'm like, so if you're the length of from the bottom of Florida to Zephyr Hills, it's like that length times 2 up the Panhandle, right on the beach, where I lived.
Oh, nice.
So it's like I was way up there.
Yeah, it's funny. Most of the people I meet in Oregon were from like much nicer parts of Florida than me. Like
Yeah,
they're
I
like, yeah,
wasn't
we
down there with
had
the
like
ding dongs.
yeah, it's like everyone had a better experience than me, and it makes me salty.
Yeah, we should plan a trip to the place that I used to live, and then
Dude, that
we'll
would
just
be
hang out
rad.
there.
I would be if you want to do a
I
Florida fucking
I
trip,
want
man.
to change your opinion of Florida. Yeah, hopefully when the airplanes come back, it'll just be like, let's just go to Florida for the weekend, like it is for
Dude,
Vegas right now. There's places in Oregon where you can get a Vegas ticket for like what, 60-80 bucks.
fuck. I need to get out there because I was supposed to last May, and I still have a credit under my name, and I think it's American Airlines. I have $100 credit.
Nice. Sorry, there's a coughing dog, and I mean, I'm
Coughing
not
dogs
shame.
are never good.
I'm not
There's either going to
shaming
be a
him,
mess
but
or a bigger mess.
yeah.
Poor doggy.
Oh, okay. Oh, Ben.
Quit feeding him whole hot pockets.
I used to feed the dogs little pieces of salami, and then at the same time, both of the dogs just started puking it out.
Oh no!
So I was like, all right, no fucking salami for you guys anymore.
It's probably I don't think cured meats are good for dogs. It's just a little too rich for their stomachs.
Yeah,
Their stomachs can only handle really like they want people food, but dude, most dogs their stomachs can only handle so much.
yeah, I know. It's like I just kind of considered my dog like, he eats anything. He eats whatever. He'll eat whatever you give him.
Oh, I've definitely
And
met dogs like that.
oh no, well that's true. But now he has like a skin condition, and
Oh no!
if he eats chicken or flour, it gets way worse. And like he's just allergic to certain things now because he's supposed to have a dog diet, not a people diet, not a diet where a guy is going through a divorce at the same time that he's going through maturity.
Oh, I know. Fuck, my friend had this dog. It was a really nice dog once you got to know it, but it was like very territorial. But anyways, it drank like if he left a glass of Pepsi, it would drink the fucking Pepsi. Or if
Mm.
he left like a ramekin full of ranch on the ground for like a second or on a table, that dog would knock it over and drink the ranch. And that dog lived to be fucking 14, but it had like
Wow.
long fucking tumors hanging from it. Like it was just it was not in good shape.
Yeah. Once you see a tumor-ridden dog, it's just like, okay, come on, what are we doing here?
Yeah. It was kind of funny though. His daughter was like maybe 2 years old at this time, and she fucking ran up to him and pulled on his tumor on his
Oh
fucking
my
belly.
god.
It was one of the funniest, like most fucked up but funniest things I've ever seen. I was like, fuck, that's not good. She's like, ding dong. And he's like, but
Oh my god.
he knew not to attack her, but he scared the shit out of her because he growled right in her face.
I love it when kids are just stupid with animals. Oh, it's my favorite. I mean, it's usually a bad situation, but kids kind of bounce back really easily, so it's fine.
Yeah.
My dad brought his dog over one time, and my neighbor who was like 2, or my neighbor's daughter who was like 2, she came over, and she was hanging out with my daughter, and then she just like went and just like put her arms around my dad's dog's neck, and then the dog just turned around and bit her in the arm and like drew blood immediately, and it was just running down her arm, and she's like, oh, okay. And it's like, oh fuck, dude. When I was like 5, I was on my uncle's farm, and I was like, oh cool, there's a cow, here's what I'm gonna do. And I just ran up behind it, and I hit its ass with both my hands straight behind it, and it just kicked really hard, me right in the chest. I just
Oh,
fly
fuck.
backwards. Oh yeah, because
You're
like
lucky you didn't
duh,
die. You could have
yeah. No,
died
it
from
was
that.
just yeah, especially if it was like my fucking face or something. I'd be a totally different person now. That'd be
Fuck.
interesting.
That's, I mean, I've never been that bold, but what I'm trying to think, we fucked with a in Yellowstone one time. My cousins, we were hanging out there. We were in a cabin, and there were buffalo all around the cabin, and some of my older cousins were like taunting this fucking buffalo and fucking with it and fucking with it and fucking with it, and then it got real close to this tree, and it took its horn down, and it went whoosh, real quick and like real aggressively, and took off like a piece of bark this thick and like this fucking long off the tree, and kind of was like, keep fucking with me, guys, see what I'll do. Like, it was really scary. Like, I was like, dude, we
I
need
can
to
kill
back
a
off.
tree. What do you think I can do to a person?
Yeah, dude, it was like it was insane because you're like, oh man, this is like a warning.
Yeah. Yeah, those situations where it's like their territory, that
Hmm.
kind of stuff is like when you see a shark, just kind of like, hey, I'm fucking watch what I can do.
Yeah.
Mm. Or
I have
like
a picture. I'll show you. It's pretty funny. It was like a picture of me. I was like 7 years old, and there are like two or three buffalo in between me and my mom's van. And I was like trying to get my Game Boy, and then my dad just snapped this picture of me like looking terrified because there's like three giant buffalo in the way of my fucking Game Boy. I was like, I'm not getting that Game Boy today. Like, it's not. Dude, we were tripping in their fucking hoof prints. Their hoof prints were really like deep and fucking wide around. It was
oh, I
intense, like
bet.
being
Yeah.
around that much wildlife. That was the first time I had really been like, oh, I got to be fucking careful, you know?
Mhm. Yeah, buffalo are just it's fun when you just see like I've seen videos of people just they stop and they just watch a, buffalo cross the street and it's just so much bigger than like even their car. And you go, "Oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah, those things are huge." There's a museum in Mount Angel where it's at the Mount Angel Abbey. It's like a Catholic abbey, I guess that's just what they're called. It's like a I don't know. It's where the monks go to not fornicate. But there's a
Yeah,
museum.
it's
There's a
where they
museum
where they
there.
go to commit themselves to Jesus.
Yeah. So there's a museum there, and there's like all sorts of like taxidermy and just like a bunch of interesting things from history. They got like a stuffed buffalo there that's pretty interesting. They're fucking huge. But there's like some stuffed um, animals that came out wrong, like a cow that's all conjoined and it's got its legs are coming out of like its udders, and they're all like, "Ooh,
Oh, nice. We had an oddities place like that in Florida, and they had like a jar with a snake that ate itself, and an alligator that was born with 5 feet, and all. It's like, hey kids, it was mandatory in middle school, for the county I was in, and they're like, hey kids, you're in 6th grade now. Go to the swamp freak camp where we show you all the freakish shit. It was
you got to
so fun.
learn
It
what's
was
in your backyard."
I went like 2 or 3 years in a row because my mom was a teacher at the time, and she's like, it's fun, keep going. And it was cheap. It was like they crammed a lot of like Boy Scout knowledge into you in like one week, like survival training for the
Yeah.
woods. And then the other one was like the other week was kind of boring at first. It was all about water and precipitation and like conserving and recycling, and it was all
Mhm.
that kind of weird shit. Like, just, and it was a lot for like a 6th grader to be like, oh, okay, this is a little preachy. But halfway through that week, you got to like actually canoe out on the Hillsborough River,
Oh,
and we
nice.
went out. We went out like it was a teacher and like maybe 8 students, and we saw so many fucking alligators that day. It was insane. Like, it
Wow.
was it was fucking nuts. We saw like maybe like four or five alligators out there, but that was
Yeah,
that was cool. They
that's
called it Nature's Classroom, and they would just kind of throw a bunch of kids out there. Like, oh, the survival training, they taught you how to do archery, which is cool.
oh hell yeah.
Yeah, so you
That's when
learned
I
how to like make a tent, do archery, all kinds of stuff.
interesting. That's when I first got into archery. I just had a bow and arrow in my backyard. I say I got into archery. I had a bow and arrow. in my backyard. One of my arrows went through my neighbor's window, and that's just like that.
Oh,
That's a
I shot the siding of someone's trailer in my I shot my neighbor's trailer with an arrow and it took a big like metal dent out of their oh shit. It took a big metal dent out of their trailer and they were fucking pissed at me.
that metal siding.
Yeah, I felt bad. I was like, I didn't mean to. It just fucking got away from me. Like
Yeah, I think there was part of me that I was just really curious if the movie thing was true, like if arrows just go straight through windows like that. I don't know if I'd really seen a window break yet. So I was like, huh, let's test to see. And it just went right through the window. It was like one of those test arrows, so it had like a, a rounded I think it was metal. I mean, it could have really hurt someone. I don't know if it could have
oh
killed
no.
someone, but yeah, it went straight in their house. But yeah, it was a whole sorry. That's all right. Kind of like,
Yeah.
we got it. I think maybe my dad took care of it in some way that I didn't even know to care about at that time.
Yeah. You're like, he'll handle it with money and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just fucking 7. I think I was like even 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are you doing leaving a kid in the backyard with a bow and arrow at 6 years old? What the fuck? Now I'm thinking about this, going like, hey, that's not even like, what are you doing? Of course, the arrow went through the neighbor's house.
Yeah, I was a little older. I was a little older when I was playing with bow and arrow, and I still fucked around. So I mean, I was still probably too young. So 6
Yeah,
is way too young.
yeah. I
Because I
don't
was
even.
like,
I don't think I put that timeline together before because my parents got divorced when I was 7, and this was
uh,
before that. So it's like, okay, so yeah, I was just fucking given stuff like, they were just not paying attention. Like, here you go, have a
yep,
trampoline and a bow and arrow in the backyard. There you go, have fun.
that's so funny.
Wow.
Yeah, I do the same thing with my mom's death as like a milestone. I'll be like, because it was anything before my mom's death, I was like 13. You know,
Yeah.
it's like 13 or 12, and you're like, what the? You're like, that happened then? Like
Mhm.
I had to fucking deal with a dementia grandma before that. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I had to go to a nursing home so many times that I decided I didn't like the nursing home, so I stayed in the fucking car for 2 hours. Like
Yeah.
fucking nuts, dude. Like looking back on some of that shit, like, oh yeah, you were like 8 years old hanging out in a fucking car by yourself. Well, your mom was in the nursing home with her mother. Fuck, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. There's some. It's weird that like memory repression kind of
Mm,
works in a different kind of time length because I mean, or maybe it just hits differently at an older age. I don't know what happens because like there's stuff that I remember now and I go, what the fuck? And it's like I think I've remembered that stuff before, but I've never really sat and thought about it and gone like, what? Like,
mm-hmm.
just like the bow and arrow thing. It's like I was fucking I never even thought about that before. But I've remembered that plenty of times before. I even had an
Mm-hmm.
eye patch because I had just gotten surgery and I was in the backyard with a bow and arrow.
So you look like fucking. You look like some kind of like backup Avenger. Like you're like
Yeah, I
Hawkeye.
mean it was like a medical eye patch. It wasn't a cool one.
Oh, I remember those. There was always like one kid with one of those. I always felt bad because that kid always got picked on.
Right fucking here. I had it
And
for
no
like
one
3
wanted to play like
weeks.
any kind of like dodgeball or anything with them.
Yeah, no, there was a lot of visual stuff that did not work for me. I tried golfing in the backyard as well.
Mhm.
That was a pretty fun thing, and I blamed that. This is a piece of honesty that if my parents ever see this, I did blame hitting the ball over the fence and as far as I can on the eye patch at that point. I was like, sorry, I can't see very well. I I know that I did hit the ball really hard. But
That's
just
really funny.
when you're a kid, there's just like so much satisfaction from going like, dude, I have so much power in this one item right here. I mean, I know that's why kids use guns and why bad things happen, but this is different. This is me with a golf club playing golf. But like, have you ever been around gravel and had a tennis racket in your hand?
Yeah.
Oh my God, is that not one of the most fun things that you can do? Because
Mhm.
it's like, well, there's part of it that's like, dude, this is going so far I can't see it anymore, and also it's very random which way it's going,
Mhm.
and there's likely some sort of window or car or house within range of all of this, which is it's just so exciting.
I was the kid. I was the kid who fucking always lost the tennis ball. I would smack the fuck out of the tennis ball, and it would just go sailing onto the roof of the. I must have shot like 5 of them onto the roof of Waitman Middle School in Wesley Chapel. I remember getting it stuck in the chain link fence one time. I hit it so hard it got stuck like really high up in the chain link fence, and no
One of
one
the
could
coolest
get it out.
feelings.
It was great, dude. I was like, I win. I was like, I just
Yeah.
dropped my tennis racket and I walked off. I was like, I win. What was I gonna say? Oh, you know what is really fucking satisfying? Have you ever gotten one of those air guns or whatever? It's like that. It's like it looks like a
Yeah.
trash bag that you pull
Looks
back.
like a megaphone.
Yeah. So, you take like a smoke grenade during 4th of July.
Okay. Yeah.
And you let the smoke go up in there, and you can fucking shoot like smoke rings, like giant smoke rings. You can at people like projectiles. They can also shoot farts, which is pretty satisfying.
I could see that. That's great. There was a 2-liter bottle that I kept in my friend's closet, and so I would just go in there and I would get the 2-liter bottle and I would deflate it a little bit, and then I'd fart into it, and I'd let it inflate, and then I just put it back in his closet. And then one time I just like, squeezed it as much as I could right in his face while we were playing computer games.
Oh my god!
Great child tricks. It's some of the best thing. Oh, and it totally works, by the way. That 100% works.
Have you ever blown up a balloon with a fart? That's actually
I don't think I could get that tight of a seal on my asshole. But I totally, this is something that I really want to do sometime. I want to get a dog shit bag, and I want to just, like put it right here, and I want to put that on my ass, and I want to shit into it. I'd have to have like a reservoir for my dick also, because I've never been able to shit without peeing.
Like you're gonna just poop into a doggy bag?
Yeah, so I'll poop into a doggy bag, and then I'll probably just pee into another one, and I'll just see which one's heavier by the time I'm done. Oh, that's a good science experiment. I think I might actually do that now that I'm thinking about it, because I have a shower and I could just take care of it. I don't want to do it outside.
That's and you should do. You should just leave it on like a fence post, like people do sometimes.
Just tie it up.
Like, yeah, just tie it up and leave it on a fucking fence. It's just full. It's just completely full. Oh.
Did someone fill this up with dog piss? That's weird. Yeah, it's dog piss, lady. Yeah.
Don't puncture it. Make sure it makes it into the trash can unpunctured.
It's my dog piss.
Oh my god. That's so stupid, but so funny. Oh man.
Yeah, I don't know. I've always been. I'm very comfortable with like creating science out of what happens with my body, because it's just like I don't.
It's fun.
I have this thing, and there's a bunch of times when I think it's just people don't like admitting stuff, and so that's why it doesn't really work for comedy. So like when I say like, who here picks their nose, and nobody fucking says anything, you're like, what the fuck? Why can't we just all be cool right now?
I pick my nose all the fucking time.
Yeah, and it's a human thing, because like you could count like just going like oh, that's like you could be like, oh, fucking picking your nose, but it's like people don't want to own up to anything. Yeah, I don't know. It's there's certain little like things that you can learn during a pandemic, I guess, like little cheat codes to go like, oh, I guess that's a good way to do that. The socks that you take off at the end of the day, you put it on your hand, whoop, and then you wipe your eyes before bed.
Oh, without toilet paper?
I mean, no, you go, it's just it's a one final cleanup, before I don't know. It's just like,
so it's like a swamp ass wipe.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I'm a person who I'll probably get at least let's say I have 3 shits a day. That's an average to low amount for me. And then I'm probably doing about 8 wipes that day, just because I don't like the feeling of anything, and I get sweaty, and so I'm
Yeah.
just like, I'm constantly cleaning up. That's one of the things I've always said is like I'm jealous of girls because they get to wipe their butt sweat and nobody can hear everybody just knows that they're using the toilet paper anyway.
Yeah.
But if I'm using the toilet paper, people are like, "What's he wiping his ass for? Fucking weirdo! What are you doing?" But if a girl if she just goes to the bathroom to wipe her ass, everybody's like, "Oh, she's just going potty." Stupid, stupid.
I just always hope if I'm because I do that too because I get swamp ass real bad. I'll wipe my ass in the middle of a shift just because it starts bugging me.
Yeah, dude.
And there's not. I mean, it's not dirty or anything. It's just fucking sweaty and gross, and I don't like it. But I always just want to assume, like, I want to make sure that people think that I'm just like, oh, he's just like maybe really, he's a germaphobe or something. Like he's like putting it down or something.
Yeah.
Also, something I did today. My roommate has Tori has like bleach wipes out.
Oh no.
He like wiped down your counter type, and
Uh-huh.
I mistook those for personal wipes,
Like
and
wet wipes.
yeah, now my butt is really clean. But
Wow.
ow,
That's that. I mean, like you should go spread it in the mirror later and see if you got to bleach your asshole at the same time.
it feels really clean. I mean, that's good. I when I found out, I was like, oh great, and then I just fucking like hopped in the shower for a little bit.
Dude, so in my car I had hand wipes and also the Clorox wipes. And
Yeah.
my daughter had just eaten something. I think it was like an ice cream or something, and she had shit on her face. And I was
Uh-huh.
like, "Here, take one of these wipes." And I just reached like this, and I just grabbed it. Take this wipe your face off because she's used the other ones plenty of times. And so she just wipes her face, and then she stops and she goes, "Ah!" And she's like, "Why is it burning?" And I was like, "Oh shit, sorry, I forgot that those were even in here." So I get reminded of that one a lot.
That's really funny.
Yeah, like the time you handed me
Remember
the
when you
wrong
almost
wipe and I
burned my
burned my
face off?
face. Yeah, exactly.
I think the worst I got was when I used to do janitorial work. When I was real young, I was like that guy who just didn't have any skills, but I had a really good work ethic at my job. So I was like, "Oh, you need something fucking." I was essentially Charlie Kelly, and It's Always Sunny. I was like, "Oh, you need me to
Okay.
get on my knees and scrub this fucking?" Okay, like I,
Yeah,
I was
I
that
got it.
guy. They would call me in because I needed extra money. I would come in and just detail the restaurant for like 2 hours for like $30 probably. And I was cleaning one time with orange cleaner, and I don't know if you've used that shit, but it's it'll fucking
Gnarly
burn.
degreaser.
Yeah, degreaser. Yeah, it was degreaser. I was using degreaser on the floor, and my knees started burning real hard.
Oh, fuck
It
yeah.
burned, it burned through my fucking dickies, dude. And I wasn't even thinking about it. And I had these fucking chemical burns on my knees for like
Yeah. Were they
months.
all white?
Yeah, it was fucking gross. It was really
Yeah.
gross. And I
I
was
I worked at a car dealership and I was using that shit just barehanded without gloves. And same thing happened to me. I was like, "Oh, I'm just getting fucking burned." Oh, okay. And they're like, "What are you doing? You're not using gloves?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't know.
I'm
I'm
fucking
an
turning
idiot."
into the Joker over here, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. So did it just start burning or did it like become bad?
I mean, it wasn't terrible because I figured it out. At
Yeah.
least I figured it out in time, and I knew I had gloves on when I was using it. But it burned through the fucking gloves too, dude. That shit is really like that's
Yeah.
overkill. It's really funny because now that things are like a little more like in restaurants in general, things are a little more health conscious, eco conscious. I haven't been seeing that degreaser bit being used quite as much. At least
Yeah.
on the front of the house side, that shit
Maybe they
is.
just changed the color and now it's purple. Do you guys have
I
purple
mean, it's
degreaser?
possible. Yeah, it's very possible. We use some pretty heavy duty sanitizers right now that
Yeah.
they smell like fucking gross perfume.
Yeah.
Oh
There's
yeah. Oh
dude,
dude.
what's your favorite hand sanitizer method of delivery? So there's the ones that are, there's it's like liquid. There's the one
Uh,
that's gel, and I have the one that sprays like
I like the
it's like a
sprays.
yeah, I love the spray because it just gets even and then you just go like that. I have a few of
That's
those.
at the beginning of the pandemic, I was hooking up with this hippie chick, and she had made her own hand sanitizer, and it was fucking rad. It had like rosemary and like
Nice.
she made it out of like grain alcohol, and she's like, "Yeah, it's fucking." It was a spray one. I
Oh yeah.
fucking I kind of hate the liquidy one. That's the one because we get the cheap ones at work, and
Mhm.
it smells like stale vodka, and it's fucking gross to me. It's like, and
Yeah.
I always worry that because sometimes I'll use a lot of it because I get paranoid, and I always worry that I'm gonna get pulled over after a shift, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, you've been chugging shitty alcohol." I was like, "No, dude, I'm fucking sanitizing."
Yeah.
I have some
There was one that we
Batman.
had at there was one that we had at my work that smelled exactly like the tequila I used to drink.
Oh yeah, dude, it's
And
fucking
it's like,
gross. Yeah, it's like
ugh.
I can't do this well sanitizer. This is
Yeah.
fucking gross, man. Oh yeah, I got this little tube of like Batman hand sanitizer that I bring to mics with me. It smells like grape pinnacle vodka. It's
Oh
fucking
wow.
weird. Oh, it's in my pocket. Yeah, look at this. I wish you could smell it over the camera. It's
I'm getting synesthesia right now from it. It's great.
it's like blue. It's blue and it smells like grapes. It makes no fucking sense.
That's I mean it's like bubble bath rules.
It smells like purple bubble tape gum tasted like, if that makes any sense. You remember
Yeah,
that?
no, that's yeah. Is that pretty close to like Big League Chew grape?
Yeah, yeah, they're basically the
Okay,
same.
that same kind of grape flavor. I like that kind of grape flavor quite a bit. There's certain artificial flavors right in there that I just hate, like the cherry. That's
Yeah.
that kind of cherry that's that artificial. Hate it.
I like the jelly bean cherry and I like dark cherry, like fake dark cherry is good.
Yeah, that's
But
yeah.
that like Robitussin cherry, I know what you
I think
mean.
that's what it is. It tastes too much like cough syrup, and it gives me the gags.
Hmm. I think that's one of those cilantro debacles a lot of people don't realize is the cherry flavoring. Some people love it, some people fucking they won't touch it because it is like fucking cough syrup.
Cilantro?
The cilantro debacle where it's like some people love it and some people hate it.
Oh,
It's
because
like
it tastes like some
some
people
people
say it
taste
tastes like
soap.
yeah,
Yeah.
soap. Okay. Yeah, I don't know where I fall on that one. I'll have to try it.
I love cilantro. It's definitely a strong flavor regardless of how you feel. So sometimes it's like, oh, this is a lot of cilantro, you
Mhm.
know, for sure.
Oh, speaking of Happy Gilmore, I went and I hit golf balls for the first time this year and probably in a little more than a year.
Hmm.
And uh, it was great. We went to the driving range and I don't know what's going on with me and golfing, but I think not playing makes me better at golfing because each time I
Uh-huh.
play, I feel like I get a little bit better. And I was, I was doing pretty well. I was driving it pretty well. It was
Nice.
nice, and I got. What I sorry, I don't. It's weird to say I'm doing well at something when you're right there.
I can confirm that
Okay.
you're
Oh, cool.
doing great.
Confirmation.
Nice.
Uh, but I'm going to play golf with Lars, and I think we're going to do it as an All Who Wander Are Lost episode coming up.
Oh, that'd be
And
rad.
yeah, so I think it's going to be me and Lars, maybe Zach and Emma too. I don't know, but I think it'll be fun having because you can just do Twitch from your phone. I think I don't know the
Oh,
like
cool.
whole logistics of it all, but I think that won't be too hard to do,
Hmm.
and that'll be exciting. You ever golf?
Really? I so there was a I went a couple of times during the summer. A bunch of comics got together and hit golf balls like Dan Weber and
Hell yeah!
Kelly Irwin was out and just like a bunch of other people like from that like little Clinton House like hangout group. It was cool. Yeah, like Posse and Lundy and them. Um it was rad. I started getting good at it like towards the end of my round and it was really fucking satisfying. Like when you really fucking wing
Yeah,
them, dude, you're like, whoa! You're
yeah. Especially when it's
like
like
it's
going
like you were
straight, you're
saying,
like,
like
oh
tying back
fuck,
into yeah,
yeah,
tying back into being a kid who's just stoked about being that powerful. It dude, it's like one of the few sports where they're like, okay, go ahead and smack the fucking shit out of it, like that.
yeah.
I mean, I know that's not all of golf, but like that's the most satisfying part of golf for sure.
So hitting the ball straight and hard at like doing both of those things is super great. I think I do better when I don't do any practice swings. And I think I don't know. I had a great time going to the driving range.
Do you interlink your hands? Because I've heard all kinds of shit. Oh, see, I can't get that just right. So yeah, you do what I was shown. Yeah, that's what I was shown, but it just feels so awkward for me. I can do some of the link, so I'll do like. I don't know if you can.
Oh, you go double? You double up?
I'll do like that, and I'll try because it's just awkward.
I just hit the last. I just linked the pinkies.
Oh, that looks. Yeah, that looks better actually.
Yeah, it's just pinky and index actually. Yeah. These aren't both pinkies. I thought they were at first, seriously.
Oh, yeah. You like just flipped it.
I was confused. Yeah,
I like pinkies, and then we make a promise to hit the ball real hard. No, it's so fucking cool, dude. It's like, and I've never been like a big golf guy. I liked miniature golf, but I never thought I would be like. And I was like, dude, this is fun. I get when people really get into it. I was fucking sore the next day though, kind of like you are when you haven't bowled for years, and then you just fucking have like a day where you bowl like 5 games, and then just that whole right side of your body is sore, or whatever side you use. I mean, I felt that way with like my back and my hips and my legs and my wrists after golfing. It was really strange.
Like, there's a lot of back and like shoulder, like that. Your back shoulder, I think it is. It's one of my shoulders. I was like, Jesus, I feel this a lot, and only this shoulder.
Like lats.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, my lats were pretty sore. It's a good workout. I really wish the other thing I was thinking when I was doing it, I was like, man, fuck, Donald Trump's right. This is a lot of fun. Like, I didn't want to, like, that was one thing I thought of. I was like, man, I can't, and I like almost wasn't able to enjoy it as much as I should have, because I was like, man, Donald Trump likes this a lot.
They're like, sir, we want you to be president. He's like, can I still golf every day?
Yeah, all the
that's
time,
my thing. That's what I do. And they're like, I mean, yeah, I guess so. You just have to like be available for phone calls and meetings. He's like, okay, well, I got a Bluetooth and whatever, but I'm gonna be golfing. That's the deal. And they're like, okay, we are your publicist / government / what's it called in Illuminati. There we go.
Yeah, dude, we literally had Rodney Dangerfield from Caddyshack as our president. That's fucking.
I wish Trump at just some rally was just like, we're all gonna get laid.
We're all gonna get fucking laid.
Yeah, dude.
No, I mean he's literally Rodney Dangerfield, because all he talks about is how no one gives him any respect. He fucking shit on everybody, dude.
Oh, dude, I want to see a so take Trump's voice, put it down a few pitches. This is a challenge to the people on the internet. Take Trump's voice, take it down a few pitches, just one of his speeches, and do a face swap, or one of the, what's it called?
Deep fake.
Deep fake. Do a deep fake of Rodney Dangerfield's face on Donald Trump just giving his speech. Just deep voice. I think that would transfer really well.
That would be really funny.
So I think I need to Rule 34 that into the internet. Actually, I think if I Rule 34 it, that's going to make it having sex with each other. So
that's funny. I mean, you need that too. I do know that Jimmy Kimmel has a running thing on his show where it's like, or I guess they're not doing it anymore because he's not president, but it was Drunk Trump, where they like slow down his voice. And I may have talked to you about this, but he sounds like fucking Palpatine, and it scares the shit out of me. I don't like it. Yeah, he's just like, the fake news. You're like, what the fuck? You're like, oh, I don't like it.
That's the guy with the electricity fingers, right?
Yeah, but it's like, so it's hard to describe. So you really have to like, he has this. Palpatine has this thing where he sounds like very threatening, but then very frail, then very threatening, then very. And it was weird because they captured the Drunk Trump sounded like the frailish Palpatine when he's kind of like I guess it's when he's manipulating Anakin is the best way to put it. Like where he's kind of like fucking with his tones and shit. It's creepy. It kind of reminds me. It kind of reminds me of Satanists. How Satanists have like little choruses where they're like, ho, ho, like all over the fucking place.
All over the country,
I
they
want to
come
hear
together, and
this
we
It's a
real quick.
demonic
at that
quality.
thing. We
Yeah,
now
look up
to
the
have
speech
speed
from
for
Star
tonight's
Wars
edition
where
of
the
Drunk
Emperor
Donald
is
Trump.
from Episode 3 when he's like getting Anakin to march on the Jedi Temple. That's a perfect example.
Order and security. It's one of the reasons I was elected. Also, jobs and lots of other things.
Oh my God. It's even just hearing, I don't know. I need to be consistently reminded of how that guy talks. Because then I go, oh yeah, it's the worst one. There's no way anybody, even the people that were first presidents with their vocabulary and their education, they probably spoke better than doing the whole like, we're gonna make, I mean, I just watched him be, edited stupid, but still he's the things that he says is just, I was watching at the Space Museum thing. There was this JFK speech that was on loop. It's like a 5-minute speech, and he's talking about going to the moon. And the speech can be boiled down to, "We're going to the moon, and if we don't go to the moon first, we're going to war." And like
Yeah.
that's just like they're gonna get us if we don't go to the moon first. And it was like, well, why? What are you saying? Like, what are you saying with any of this? What are you telling us? And so it was just like, that's the only point that he kept making. He's like, it's going to happen if we don't do this, but he wasn't explaining anything. And like, even with one of our most, I guess maybe he's just charismatic, but I want to call him eloquent. He's really good with words and people and his face, I guess.
Yeah. He's a sexy president.
Even with him, he has speeches that are just nonsense. He's just saying at the very end of his speech, he goes, well, that would be as ridiculous as, and he makes a sports reference and the crowd goes crazy and he goes, we're going to the moon. And then they go crazy again. And then it was just like, well, you're cheating. You just made a sports reference because you're in Houston and you're talking about their sports team.
Yeah.
It's like,
you're totally just fucking setting yourself up with one thing and then jamming something else in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he was an interesting guy, but yeah, dude, the moon shit, that like I don't know. I don't want to be a super conspiracy theorist, but
oh shit. Are we getting there? Do you not believe in the moon?
Dude, if we okay, so I'm agnostic. I'm agnostic about the moon. If someone had proof, 100% proof, and they were like, "Hey, man, there's a fucking flag and there's footprints or whatever. It's true that this is the moon." Or if someone's like, "Dude, that shit didn't happen. Here's proof that it didn't happen." I would believe that because there was so much riding on it. Why wouldn't we fake it? Like if we couldn't do it, you know what I mean?
So here's what I think. I'm so close to where you are with this, and it's just so fun to get there because for one, if you even mention this to some people, they go crazy.
Yeah, people
they call you a flat earther, and you're like, well, I mean, just like, well, you believe the TV. That's the only thing that's the difference between us. Yeah. And so I did watch a thing on like Sci-Fi Channel or like A&E or whatever it was when I was a kid, and it was like, here's why the moon landing was faked. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. And I watched the whole thing, and I was like, okay. And it was just fun to believe in the conspiracy then. But what I think is because the video that they have of going into, like, there's video that they have of like going to space, and so what it looks like when there's rotation up against the like fuselage of the thing versus the like planet kind of moving in the distance, that kind of matches what we have now. And I don't know if they could have understood the perspective that it would have matched exactly back then, because if they're not doing it already, they wouldn't be able to have a reference. So what I think is they got to space, but who knows if anybody's been on the moon? That's the other thing, is it's like, I mean, okay, but it's a lot closer. and there's probably been a lot of things that just crashed on the moon, and we're like, whoa, whoops.
It just jammed it in there.
Yeah,
like
no,
that.
it's probably just a fucking junkyard up there. I bet if you take there's going to be such powerful cameras soon enough that they're going to zoom in. I mean, you see solar flares, people they're just using their
Yeah, why
telescopes.
haven't we Google Earth the moon yet? Come on, get on it.
Yeah, show us the moon, show us the fucking surface and the emails. But I want to see the like junk. It's just, I bet you there's just like, it looks like a junkyard.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of broken rockets, and they're like, oh, that one didn't work.
It's just a fucking flea market for NASA, basically. Like,
Yeah.
dude, I don't know. I mean, I could go either way, honestly, because I don't. If they told me it was real for sure, and I had like proof, I couldn't argue. Like,
Do you go
and
down to
also-
like where the crosshairs on the picture are behind the flag, and it's
yeah.
like, oh shit.
The thing that bugs me is some of the gravity doesn't really translate.
Just hopping around in slow motion. Boop, boop.
Yeah, some of the gravity seems a little off, and stuff with the flag, and just there's certain things with that. And I've watched a few documentaries as well. I watched the one about Stanley Kubrick where they said Stanley Kubrick filmed it.
I want to see that one. I haven't seen that.
It's called Room 236, I think. And
Yeah.
there's all these it's all these Easter eggs that are in The Shining that point to the fact that he faked the moon landing.
Are you a Shining super fan?
No, I wouldn't go that far. I've seen it maybe like 4 or 5 times in my life. I like it, but I don't know all the Easter eggs, and I don't know, like, I still don't understand. I still don't understand some of the references. Like, I don't really understand who that bartender is supposed to be. That ghost bartender.
Right.
Like, I don't know. There's so much of it that kind of goes over my head. I do really enjoy it though.
I know that there's
Shelley Duvall is always terrible. Like, they treated her like garbage on that set. Apparently,
she's great. I love her in everything I've ever seen her in. She's so cool.
I know.
So I know that there exists a cut of that movie that was at least at film festivals, and it's the movie played over itself, forward and reverse at the same time.
Oh, weird.
Because apparently there's stuff that is, I guess, intentional. Like the person who made the documentary of that happening maybe talks throughout it or something like that. But that's worth somebody looking up and getting more information on that. But that's why I was wondering if you were a Shining super fan.
I think I heard an inkling about something like that, but it makes sense. I mean, the whole movie kind of has these cyclical themes and cyclical events. I think a lot of that, like, there's little hints at that too, with like the twins and shit. You know, the twins are a big part of it.
I haven't seen it since I was younger.
There's a lot of symbolism in it. I don't think it's Kubrick's best movie though. Even like I don't know.
Do you think Full Metal Jacket is Kubrick's best movie?
Well, half of it is.
Yeah, the first half is really good.
The first half is great. After Pyle kills himself, the movie kind of falls apart. There's some cool scenes, but the movie just doesn't like have that kind of. It's not as captivating.
Yeah, once they show the like inner city war stuff going on, it's like, oh yeah, it's gross. I forgot
that scene with the where the little girl is the sniper though, and they have to kill that scene is really intense. That's really cool.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I don't know. I like a lot of Clockwork Orange. I like a lot of I'm trying to think what else. He did a movie, I can never fucking remember the name of it, but it was filmed using natural light, and I think we probably talked about this before.
Interesting.
It's all natural light, and it's set in like colonial times, and it's like I think it's like just a story about like dueling families and shit. It's called, it's a dude's name.
Oh, Barry Lyndon.
Oh. Barry Lyndon.
Yeah.
Why can't I ever fucking remember that?
I didn't know it. I looked it up.
Oh I'm just saying I
Okay.
can never. I always talk about it because I remember the details of it, but I can never remember the fucking name of the guy.
That's interesting. So that was completely naturally lit.
Yeah. So no lights at all. He wanted to go full fucking authenticity with the time period.
Wow. Yeah,
So
there's even like candlelight scenes
it's kind
in a
of
movie.
otherworldly in a lot of ways. It's just a weird fucking movie. That one's really interesting. I just like when he really fucks with the medium and he does
Mhm.
some interesting stuff. I
Yeah,
don't
I'm
think
looking at the list of Kubrick movies, and I'm looking at trying to find ones that I've seen, and I got Full Metal Jacket and The Shining.
yeah, Doctor Strangelove is pretty good.
Is that or How I Learned to Stop Loving the Bomb? There it is. Or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb.
Yeah, that one's like a Cold War suspense thriller. It's fun. What are the other ones? There's some Eyes Wide Shut. I haven't revisited that since I was like a teenager, so I might need to go back and watch that one.
Yeah, same here. There was only one reason I even glimpsed at that movie. Yeah.
You're like, when does Nicole Kidman get naked?
Yep.
Right now?
For this 10 seconds, guess I'm fucking up this VHS. All right, fine. Yeah. Just pause and just watch her go like, yeah, just shaking on pause, like, okay.
Yeah, I remember that. Track marks on the side.
Yeah. That was the first track marks we were used to.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Thank you everybody for joining us here on Must Be Nice with Kyle Adams and Chad Johnson. And we will see you again next week with our faces. What?
Yeah.
Okay. Bye.